It's 10:44 a.m. My name is Charity Colleen Krause. This is a time frame during which a variety of things could be happening, including what has already been identified as a emergency alternative budget. But the declaration was made that no minors and nobody under the age of 25 and nobody that identified as biologically female were to be a part of the emergency budget matters. And what happened was all of that got taken away from me, and now I'm supposed to be performing some kind of woman that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. What I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to have sexual contact with the only person I'm allowed to talk to. It happened the night before last, and it happened last night as well. I'm not going to do it. I understand what's the extortion. I have been informed of a variety of alternative rationales going on in somebody else's paradigm. The point was that if you do not engage in prostitution as a woman, you really have no relevancy because we're not going to accept you as having the authority of a man. That's what I have learned in the last few days. This was specifically and strategically orchestrated. There's all kinds of other stuff. It's actually traumatizing to hear, especially when you don't have any representation and you don't have any support. It's actually very traumatizing to hear what are some of the other things that people are churning over as the implications involved here. But there's also a huge cover your ass moment where everybody's trying to find somebody to blame. So I'm going to take responsibility. I am not going to have sex with somebody because it has been determined that me involving myself in a sexual relationship will provide them with some form of compensation or some sort of power or political capital exchange that somebody else brokered. I'm not going to do it. And I'll take responsibility for that. I have all the emergency preparedness supplies that I need in order to be able to go somewhere that is not irradiated and that has at least a drinkable water source within 2 miles. To start over at a very modest level and provide for myself for a period of time. But you know what that tells me is that the intent in this was my genocide. That personally, I do not have political agency. I'm never going to be acknowledged as being an independent person and sovereign person with political rights. And the only purpose you have for me right now is to sexually pleasure somebody else while you lie about what that's actually about. I'm not supposed to know what the deals are. I'm not supposed to know who the actual political actors are. I'm not supposed to know who the intellectual authors are. And anything I've done, I'm supposed to just acknowledge, well, it's already been taken and it's already been given to somebody else. And you were never supposed to have those capabilities anyway. Because you're right, there was bond fraud. We bonded you to be an idiot, and you were supposed to be grateful for a place and door to sleep. That's my responsibility. And the problem is, I've been watching you do this to women and children for years. I've watched you break apart relationships where women were business owners, actually pretty wealthy, involved in community organizing, identifying themselves as community organizers, property owners, maybe involved in some sort of international relationship with family that lives in another country, involved in some sort of political action where they might actually have mobilizations and have gone to protest or maybe even participated in some sort of local political process. Something besides a lawyer branding them and then wrangling them to a bunch of different medical distribution centers. And then completely rewriting their lives. So at the end of the day, they're a uniformed yet unidentified army. Most of the scrubs I saw at the time were royal blue. But they've changed, haven't they? It's now our fashion statement. It's a crime. I'm not going to become one of them. And I'm sorry. I don't mean any ill will to those women that I loved and would have been very proud to be in leadership with. But I have already acknowledged their intention was our extinction. You did what you could to survive and take care of yourself. My soul My life, my purpose does not exist when they are the ones that make the determinations about our lives. And you have to understand, they wouldn't let me talk to the people that presumably are calling the shots. Why? Because they don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they are not supposed to be where they are. They are not supposed to be the ones making those decisions, where the only option a woman like me has is that I either go have sex with that man out there, or I have to deal again with a threat that I'm going to be out on the street. You might ask, why am I still here? The state of Texas knows. The Supreme Court of Texas knows. This was not theirs. They had no right to do this.